Good morning, students, and welcome to today's class. I hope you've been having a wonderful holiday. As much as you've been learning, you've also been unwinding and being helpful in the house, interacting positively with friends, and getting meaningful connections. So I want to welcome you to this lesson today. The last time we had this Form 3 lesson, we were talking about question 1 in paper 1, and that is the functional writing. We were able to discuss some few areas that were mainly key areas. We talked about the report writing. We also discussed several types of reports. We talked about an investigative report, which by now everybody knows how to write. We talked also about an event report. We also discussed an activity report like the one that you had just done, a report on an accident, newspaper reports. We also went further to letters. We looked at the different types of letters and different ways questions can come, the semi-formal letters, and we said that they are the middle. It's not a friendly letter, it's not an official letter, but it will take the format of a friendly letter. We discussed the choice of words, the register words that are used in this particular writing cannot be used in the other writing. We talked about the penalties that are there in functional writing. So today I want us to, just in the same spirit, look at oral skills and the NEC rubric. The answers that may seem obvious to you, but when it comes to the National Examination Council, those answers are considered incomplete. So what I wanted to do today is to go through some questions that I have prepared here, and then we can look at the best way for us to answer the question so that we score. And I will begin by saying that essentially paper 1 is an etiquette paper. It's a paper on etiquette. So the questions seem very easy, but then whatever is being tested is something that is very crucial. We cannot afford to miss the fine details that are expected. And I'm just going to give a simple example. Normally we are asked when, maybe let's say when we are testing on speaking skills, somebody says, how would you gain the most from the speech? And then somebody would say, I would maintain a meaningful eye contact. Now that answer is correct. I would maintain a meaningful eye contact. That is answer is absolutely correct. But is it complete? No, it is not complete. Why are you maintaining a meaningful eye contact? To show that you are attentive. So your answer becomes complete when you say, I would maintain, by maintaining meaningful eye contact to show that I am attentive. Now that is a complete answer. There are times also when you're dealing with, or you're going to find questions on dialogues or even telephone conversations, and then your answers may have something to do with so and so introduces himself. You also again have to say the reason for introducing yourself. It is to create that familiarity tone or to set off a conversational tone. So what is needed is for you to bring complete answers by giving the reason for why you're doing what you've done. If it is by greetings, why are you greeting? To create a rapport. If you say that I would use this kind of gestures and all that, if you say, you have to show why, give an explanation. So we are looking now at a situation where we have some of these questions that I've been able to sample a few, and we are going to look at them. I will be expecting a lot of interaction. I hear your answers, and then now I can give you the answers that I've prepared for you. So let me just begin. First of all is, of course, question 1. Question 1, this is a song, and I would like for somebody to take us through the song. Anybody who is so much ready, and somebody without background noise, take us through this song, please. We have a lot to cover in 1.5 hours, so we have to be very active. Who wants to take us through the song? Just read the song for us. Somebody please volunteer. Very good. Okay. Please take us through. I've already unmuted you. Okay.
I am a girl, daughter of Tiangole.
Girl of Tiangole, who will give me a pair of bell-bottom trousers so that I can show off in them. Who will give me a pair of bell-bottom trousers so that I can show off in them. I am a girl, a daughter of Tiangole, who will give me a watch so that I can show off with it. Who will give me a watch so that I can show off with it.
Continue.
Who will give me, who will give me platform shoes so that I can show off in them. Who will give me platform shoes so that I can show off in them. Oral Literature of the Kalenjin by Chesania.
Thank you. The first question is for us to identify one feature that contributes to the rhythm of this folk song. Is there anybody who has an idea? I can give you a second to just look at it. Who has an idea? Identify and illustrate one feature that contributes to the rhythm. That is very simple. Just go through the song 1 second, see what is bringing any. Okay. Give us an answer.
I think the repetition might
Of.
contribute to the rhythm. The repetition of the lines in the song.
Give the lines that have been repeated.
So that I can show off in them.
That is correct. So I want to share the answers that I have here, then you can discuss them. Take us through the answers. I've shared them.
Repetition, so that I can show off in them. Who will give me a watch? And there's also alteration, bell-bottomed.
Correct. Thank you. Now, what is lost when the above song is translated? Anybody would like to try? When a song has been translated, what is lost? And remember, there's a difference between translation and transcription. So sometimes you may get a question that is asking you what is lost when a song is uh, transcribed. But now I'm asking what is lost when the song is, the question is asking, I think, translated. Emmanuel, would you like to try
The
what is lost when the song is translated?
authenticity.
That's correct. Any other? Thank you for trying. Take us through those answers. Emmanuel? We've lost him. Who can take us through the answers and maybe the next question, correct? Okay. Evans?
The rhythm is lost when the song is translated. The second is authenticity or originality.
Okay, correct. Thank you. Remember that I have said that sometimes the question may not be on translation, but on transcription. For example, a song that is sung originally in Kiswahili and then translated to English, what is lost? There's now a transcription now. Instead of having a live performance, think of your favorite musician. Would you rather the musician comes and performs for you or writes the song and gives it to you? So the question can either come in terms of transcription or translation. Assuming it's okay, somebody's hand was up. Now the next question is asking on how we would perform this song. I want to take you back to this song, and then I want you to give me how the best ways for you to perform this song. One thing I must remind you is that when you're talking on questions on performance, you must always mention the verbal and the non-verbal cues. What happens if you mention just the verbal cues, you get a tick 0. Even if they are correct, you are awarded a 0 mark. For you to score, you must give both the verbal and the non-verbal. They must have non-verbal and verbal, so that even if you give the non-verbal and they are actually correct, and you did not bring in a verbal cue, you still get a 0. So in this question, we are looking for verbal and non-verbal. You have the song there. You have looked at it again. And now the question that I was asking was on performance. How would you perform the folk song? Looking for verbal and non-verbal cues. Is there anybody who wants to try? Anyone who wants to try? Okay. Maybe nobody is very sure on how to go about it. So the answer, okay, I see somebody wants to try. Thank you. Jack?
I would practice body movements by shaking my wrists to show the presence of a watch in who will give me a watch. And the other one is I would use a falling intonation to show certainty.
To show certainty?
Yes. In the
Is it certainty or finality?
They are the same thing.
Certainty and finality?
Yes.
No, finality means you're coming to the end of the poem. You can take us through the answers. I've shared them. Take us through the answers.
Gestures by pointing at self. I am a girl, touching the wrist. Who will give me a watch? Dramatization. Catwalking so that I can show off the shoes or trousers. Short pause after the comma for emphasis on who her father is. Falling intonation on the last line of the song to indicate finality.
Thank you, Jack. Now, something I want to mention by you looking at those answers, when you're giving the answers of performance again, we begin, the answer should be from general to specific. I would use gestures is very general. Now, specific is when you contextualize and say, pointing at self, it's like you're pointing to yourself when saying, I am a girl. Touching on the wrist when saying, who will give me a watch? So you move from general to specific. Dramatization is general. Then specific now is when you say by catwalking to show off the shoes or the trousers. Using a short pause, again, it is general. Now the specific is now when you say where there is a comma and for what reason, to emphasize or to show who her father is. And then, of course, the use of falling intonation. And it is not to show certainty, Jack, it is to show finality or the end of the poem. Thank you. So that is how you always phrase your answers. Begin from general to specific, and then always, of course, mention where. It would have been very wrong to say, I would use gestures and just leave your answer that, or just say, I would point at myself without saying at what point you would point at yourself when saying, I am a girl. So you must always ensure you have contextualized your answers clearly for you to score. This is sometimes a problematic question to candidates because of leaving the answers half done. You have to give the answer in full, general to specific, verbal cues, non-verbal cues. Which words, identify the stressed words in the second line of the song and give a reason for your answer. The second line of the song is, this is it. Who will give me a pair of bell-bottomed trousers? Can somebody maybe tell us, identify the stressed words there? Anyone who is willing to try? You don't have to get it right, but then you can take us through the answers. All right. Anybody?
Bell
Yes,
bottom.
take us through.
Who will give
Come
me a
again?
pair of bell bottomed to show to describe the trousers that the girl is asking for.
So which words would you stress?
Bell and bottomed.
Bell and bottomed. Let's see whether you've got it right.
And
You can read the answers for us. Take us through the answer. Okay, somebody take us through that answer.
Who?
Yes, go on.
Who give pair bell-bottomed trousers? The words have
The
been
reason?
stressed to express the words have been stressed to express the speaker's desire to be modern, to stylish. 1 mark.
Okay. Now, the problem with the answer that we had previously is that if you look at that, we have how many content words that have been stressed? We have who, give, pair, bell-bottomed trousers. Those are 5 words. So if you don't give the 5 words, again, you're going to score 0. So for you to be able to score that 1 mark, you cannot give 1, 2, 3, 4. You must give the 5 words that are to be stressed so that you can be able to score that 1 mark. And if you get it wrong in the words that you're going to stress, you're not going to get the other 1 mark for saying the reason as to why you would stress them. So it is important when you're answering this question of which words you would stress, ensure that it is every content word that is there to stress. If you leave out even 1 content word, again, you're going to score 0. So ensure that you have stressed all the content words and give the reason. And by giving the reason, you must mention the meaning that they help to bring. Like in this case, we are told it is to bring out the speaker's desire to be modern and stylish. Mention all the content words that are to be stressed, and then now you give the meaning. What they are being stressed to emphasize on what meaning, so that you can be able to score full marks. Thank you. We go to the next question. Where was that question? There's a question that is missing. Okay, it is here. Mention 2 things that you would do to draw the attention of the audience before the performance of the above song. I want to bring this question to your attention. Somebody have a question? Onyango?
No, I do have a question.
Yes.
I do have a question.
Or okay. You would like to take us through those answers? Evans?
I would like to consult on the basis of identification of the content word. How can I know that this is a content word and that is not?
Come again? You'd like to know the basis
question, identification of the content words. Content words. The one
the
you're
content
saying
words.
this one. Yes.
The content words are the words that carry the meaning of that point, of that particular line. We don't look at prepositions, we don't look at conjunctions or the article. We are mainly concerned with the word that has or that brings meaning. Look at this line. Who will give me a pair of bell-bottomed trousers? If we just said that we would stress bell-bottomed, we cannot really come up with the meaning of the meaning of that line with just the 2 words bell-bottomed. Now the meaning is brought through the words who, give. Already the person is asking who will give. So the person doesn't have, but is asking who will give. Give what? Pair bell-bottomed trousers. Now those words, they actually have meaning even without the auxiliaries and the conjunction, the article. It already has a meaning. It creates a meaning. Who give pair bell-bottomed trousers? We always look at the words that carry meaning, not the prepositions, not the conjunctions, at least not in this particular line. Perhaps there may be a line where the article there carries meaning in that particular line, but we look at all the words that contribute to the meaning of that line. The meaning of the line, we are looking at this girl or speaker who is so stylish and is looking to dress in a modern way. Therefore, the words when she's asking who give a pair of bell-bottomed trousers is to show her desire to be stylish. So that question, there isn't much of a formula, but you look at the words that are carrying meaning in that particular line. That's why we are calling them content words. They're the words that carry the meaning of that particular line. Okay, so Onyango, you wanted to take us through that question?
Yes.
Okay, let me give you the slide.
Mention two things.
Go ahead.
Mention two things you would do to draw the attention of the audience before the performance of the above song. One, I would clear my throat noisily or loudly as I get on stage. Two, I would whistle loudly as I enter on stage. Three, I would use a relevant proverb, for example, clothes maketh a man, to draw audience attention on a message of the song.
To the message, sorry, this is supposed to be to the message. Okay, thank you very much, Onyango, for taking us through the answers. And I just want to mention or say something. Now, this question, there are so many answers that I know that we have in our notes. For example, I would clap my hands, I would beat a drum, I would ring a bell, I would use a relevant proverb, I would use a relevant song. Now, the problem with those answers, and not particularly a big deal, is that what happens with the examination council, the marking scheme keeps changing. Sometimes they will just say that they will not accept answers to do with I would beat a drum, because the question is, where will you get the drum when you're narrating this story? Perhaps it is in front of the class. Where will you get that drum? So you realize that those answers sometimes are subjected to a lot of discussions, and most likely it will not qualify. Sometimes it will be accepted, other times it will not be accepted. So what I would advise is, when you're answering this question, let us just stick to those answers that have never changed from the beginning. I would clear my throat noisily, because you are carrying your throat with you as you're walking. Or I would whistle loudly. And remember, this is mostly a 2 marks question. And I would rather you give these simple answers and then you score 2 marks, other than come up with answers that will be subjected to discussion and then eventually penalized or not accepted. There's a danger again of you saying I would use a relevant song if you don't give that particular song. You may not write the entire song, but you can give the title of the song and then the message in that song that is relevant to this. You must contextualize. Now, like I've done here, I would use a relevant proverb. For example, I have to give that proverb, clothes maketh the man, to draw the audience attention to the message of the song. The message of the song is on dressing and looking stylish. So if you're saying again, I would use a relevant trio, give that trio so that we see how relevant it is to the song. So that those answers that you can use, yes, but you must contextualize. Sometimes it could even be a poem, sometimes it could be a narrative. How would you attract the attention? And then you say, I would use a relevant song. That is wrong. Give that, you can give the title of the song and the message of that song and how it is relevant to this. Or you can give a proverb that is related to the message of what you're going to talk about. If it's a narrative that is talking about maybe the tortoise, how the tortoise was in a competition with hare, and how hare maybe managed to be, was beaten by the tortoise, you can come up with a proverb maybe that shows we should not judge others too quickly, we should not demean other people. you must always contextualize. Don't leave your answer at a relevant song, a relevant proverb. Give that relevant proverb. And I am saying, in the event you're not very sure on the proverb that you're going to use or the relevant song that you're going to use, just give those two simple answers I have shared. Those are the safest answers. And if your intention is for you to score marks only, then this is the way to go, and your answer will not be subjected to any questioning. Now, so those are the ones I am encouraging. Again, that is a 1 or 2 marks question, mostly 2 marks. Now, during the performance of this song, list 2 things that would tell you that the audience is listening. Is there anybody who would like to try? Okay, on again.
If the audience are nodding their head in unison or in acceptance of whatever is being said.
In approval?
Yes, in approval. If the audience are maintaining meaningful eye contact.
Complete that sentence. If they are maintaining a meaningful eye contact.
Malumus, it's complete.
No, that answer will not be marked as a complete one. Why do you maintain eye contact? To show what? Onyango, when somebody is talking to you and you're looking at them, the essence is to show you're
concentrating,
attentive, isn't it? So by maintaining a meaningful eye contact to show they are attentive. Now that's a complete answer. Go on.
If the audience are well settled and they're not walking in and out of the hall.
No distractions, you mean?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Onyango. Can you take us through the answers, and then I'll take the question from Victor? Can you take us through the answers? Yes? Onyango amepotea tena. Victor, your hand was up. Just hold on, Onyango.
Excuse me,
yes, Victor? Yes?
Can we say when the audience is sitting upright when slightly leaning forward?
Yeah. Show? To show what?
Show that
they are interested, isn't it?
Yes.
They are attentive, they are alert, they are keen, they are interested, you know. Yes. That's why I talked about giving complete answers. Perhaps, Victor, now that you're on, you can take us through the answers.
Yes. When the audience, they are nodding in approval, their facial expressions correspond with the emotions of the song, smiling and being amused at the show off of stylish things. They maintain meaningful eye contact to show they are attentive. They laugh when the performers say, so that I can show off. This shows they are attentive. They sing along or join in the refrain so that I can show off in them to show they are following. They clap to the rhythm to show they are enjoying.
Yes, and the answer that you have just given us, if they are sitting upright and slightly leaning forward. That one, of course, to show, yes, they are alert.
Yes.
And they are following keenly. Thank you, Victor. We can move on to the next question. I think Alan has a question.
So where you have the emotions part, must you give the example?
Must you give the
example?
Yes. You know, you must give the emotions that are being aroused by that particular song. It's sadness. We need to see. Of course, that goes to show the examiner that you understand the message of the song. Again, remember, apart from just saying facial expressions to correspond with the emotions, there's also another answer of emotional responses I don't know whether it will apply in this particular song. Emotional responses are like now when you're performing and the audience is saying, wow, oh my, and or if somebody is about to fall, they are surprised, they put their hands, they put in their hands in their head, they are very surprised, they are shocked. Those are also emotional responses when they are saying, guy, oh my, wow. That is also something to show that the audience is following. But now that one will come as a different answer of emotional responses. If this girl, remember in this song, the girl is not wearing the bell-bottom trousers, but is looking for somebody to give her. So if maybe the song was when she's wearing the bell-bottom trousers and is showing off, and the person looks very classy, the audience could give no emotional responses like, wow. Now that one becomes an answer on its own. Okay, Alan, you would like to take us through the next question?
Okay.
Go on.
You're listening to a speech on career choices by a speaker in your school. A few minutes into the speech, you realize that you have not gained much from the speech. What could be some of the barriers to listening effectively?
Do you like to attempt?
I'll
Before you
try
take
one.
us through the answers? Yes.
Yeah. So, could you say distractions?
Just share your thoughts. I will give you the answers to take us through, but from your own quick thinking. If you are listening to a speech, it is on career choice. The speaker is in class, has come to school, you are the amphitheater, and there's somebody speaking to you on career choice. Now, a few minutes into the speech, you realize that you have not even gained anything much from that speech. What do you think would be the problem, Alan?
Fatigue. Yeah, fatigue.
You think what?
Fatigue.
You're fatigued. You're tired.
Yeah.
Exhausted.
Yeah.
Any other thing, something else you can think of? Perhaps you can discuss the answers with us.
Distractions such as noise and movement of other people. Having a short concentration span, which occurs when someone is speaking to us and our minds begin to wander. Criticizing the delivery and physical appearance of the speaker, thus missing out on the message. Jumping into conclusions. We do not let the speaker finish speaking and we react to what we think he or she is going to say. Daydreaming. Physiological and emotional states such as hunger, anxiety, tiredness, sickness, sleep, etc.
Okay, thank you, Alan. Is there anybody who has an answer to add to what can make you not gain from the speech? Anybody? Alan, you can mute. Anyone who would like to give an answer that is not, maybe we have not captured there? Distractions, when somebody is distracted, either you're looking out through the window, you're looking at who is yawning, you're looking at who is doing this, something that is just catching your attention, and then your attention now shifts from the speaker. Or having, if you have a short concentration span, so that within no time your mind begins to wander, even as the speaker is speaking, you start building castles in the air. If you're criticizing the delivery, or this comes from formed opinions that you have, or the physical appearance of the speaker, what happens is that now you end up missing on the message what the speaker is delivering. Or if you keep jumping into conclusions, you don't let the speaker finish so that you can react, you start concluding what the speaker is going to say. Then, of course, there's the physiological and the emotional state that you are in. Maybe you're hungry, you're anxious, you're tired, you're sick, you're sleepy. All those can affect. Now, I want to take some answers that are not there from some of you. I want to begin with Khalif Is it Khalif or Halif? Halif, you can give us an answer.
Fidgeting. And
Who
poor
is?
articulation of words.
Come again?
Poor articulation of words from the speaker, by the speaker.
Now we are talking, the question is on listening effectively. It is you who is not listening. It is not about the delivery of the speaker. It is about you who is not, you are not listening. What can make you not listen?
Fidgeting.
Sorry?
Fidgeting.
What would lead to you maybe being so fidgety? Could be the so be because you're sick or sleepy. So you fidgeting on your seats can make you, it is not really a barrier unless it is led caused by the physiological emotions. Onyango?
Mwalimu, can we talk about a language barrier?
That's why I'm saying the question is on what are the barriers to listening effectively? It is you who is not listening. It's you who is not listening. It is not the problem with the speaker or the language of the speaker. When do hauskizi? That is why the question is asking, what could be some of the barriers to effective listening? Now, if we talk about language barrier, that one is not, it is now going to affect the speech delivery in terms or from the speaker. That would be either be a problem with the speaker. But now for you, what is it that can make you not listen to somebody or listen attentively to that person? Yes. Who is this called KKK? I want somebody with a name. You can ask a question. The question I've been able to, I don't know why these ones, I'm trying to unmute you, but you're not accepting. All right. I don't understand what's going on. Okay, maybe they're not asking a question really. We go to the next one. Give an appropriate response for each of the following situations, taking into consideration the words in brackets. And I want at least a number of you to try and attempt this. This is purely etiquette. That's a question on etiquette. Please, if you are raising your hand, ensure you're using a name. Their names I'm not able to pronounce here, and I want accountability. I can be able to follow Onyango because I can see his name. I don't know whom Jidishi is. Please use the real name. Somebody to take us through this. You can attempt at least the first two. That is just a question on etiquette. You can take a second to just try and get answers. Give an appropriate response for each of the following situations, taking into consideration the words in brackets. Question 1, would you like a cup of tea? You're supposed to decline politely. How will you decline politely? Yes?
Yes, you say no, thank you.
You can say no, thank you. Go to the next. Go to the next.
Let me read.
I believe engaging in business is a waste of time. People should focus on employment. How will you disagree politely? It's just etiquette. How will you disagree politely? Still waiting for your response. Okay, huyo ameenda. Let's hear from Boniface.
I beg to differ.
Mm-hmm. That is a 2 marks question. When you say you beg to differ, you must give your opinion.
I beg to differ, but I think focusing on business would be better than employment.
Okay. You would like to attempt the third one?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
John is saying, how about joining us for coffee? Accept the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you for the cup of coffee. Sounds
Are you sure?
maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Uh-huh. You can do the last one. You can begin your answer by writing an introduction first. Then after that, proceed to interrupt politely.
Could you please explain the question?
The question is very simple, Boniface. You've been asked to give an appropriate response for each of the following situations. Take into consideration the words in brackets. Now, what you have here, it is like maybe the teacher is teaching and the teacher is saying, you can begin your answer by writing an introduction first. Then after that, proceed to, just before the teacher continues, somebody interrupts, but then interrupts politely. So how would you interrupt politely to that?
Excuse me.
Sorry. Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'd start by excuse me. I have a question, or maybe I want to ask something or something.
Okay. What would you exactly write if this came in the exam?
Excuse me, I beg to interrupt. Then continue with the statement I would have.
Okay, thank you, Boniface. Let's hear what this other guy has to say. Can you, I don't know, somebody, you raise your hand and then you don't speak.
Could
Alan?
Could you repeat the
Should I do
response to
what?
the coffee part?
We have not, I'm just taking answers from you guys. I've not yet given the correct answers. So you have an answer? There's a question you felt you could have given a different answer? Alan?
Yeah, the coffee part.
The coffee part.
Yeah.
How about joining us for coffee? That one?
Yep.
How would you accept the invitation?
Yes, please.
Yes?
Please.
Yes, please. Okay, take us through the answers.
So, would you like a cup of tea? Decline politely. No, thank you. Or I would rather not. Then, I believe engaging in business is a waste of time. People should focus on employment. Response, disagree politely. I beg to differ. People can engage in business even when employed and still be successful. How about joining us for coffee? Accept the invitation. I'll be delighted. That will be great. Then you can begin your answer by writing an introduction first. Then after that, proceed to interrupt politely. I beg your pardon. Could you please clarify what you mean? Or do you mind saying that again?
Correct. Thank you very much. Remember again, this is a question on etiquette, guys. So this is a question that can come in different ways. Now, you see here, you're being asked for your responses. Don't explain what you will do. You should give the actual response that you give. There are times when you'll be asked for ways of how would you interrupt politely. I beg to differ. And okay, you know all the different ways. I'm sorry to interrupt. When you want to interrupt somebody, you can also be asked how you would interrupt. Sometimes you can be asked a question. When is it necessary to interrupt? When is it necessary to interrupt? When you get such a question again, you should be able to, get the answers right based on what we have been doing so far. Which are those instances when you can actually interrupt somebody from speaking? Perhaps you want to seek clarification, you want to make an addition, you want to make a correction. How then do you interrupt the polite interruption? So that question can come in different ways. And in this, you're expected to give your personal responses, and we have seen. I've also noticed that question on the coffee. Many of you are not getting it right. Would you like a cup of tea? First of all, that's a rising intonation. It's a yes or no answer question. You're supposed to decline politely. No, thank you. I would rather not. If you were to accept, maybe you could have said that would be great. Thank you. Not just thank you, but that would be great. Something like that. When now you are disagreeing politely again, I beg to differ. 1 mark is awarded up to there. Then you give your opinion. That is why that question will have 2 marks. You disagree, you say I beg to differ, I'm of a different opinion. Something that shows that you have differing from what the other person is saying. Then of course you give the idea, your personal or how you feel, or what is your opinion. How about joining us for coffee? Accept the invitation. I would be delighted. That would be great. That will be great. You don't just say thank you. When you're inviting your friends over for coffee, what exactly do you say? Mangu men speak in English. You command respect. So these are the kind of things you're going to be saying. How about joining me for coffee? The person will say, I would be delighted. That would be great. Remember, this is just etiquette. So when you're interrupting again, we want to see that clause to show you're interrupting. I beg your pardon. Could you please repeat? And then, or you explain why you're asking for pardon. Could you please clarify what you mean? Do you mind saying that again? So we want to see those clauses that show that either you have not heard, or you're seeking clarification, something, or you're making a correction, because that is what interruption should be all about. Okay, I want some 2 people to read for us here. We have the deputy, and then we have Chebet. There's Victor, who else? And Hugo. Victor and Hugo, you read for us the deputy.
Good morning,
Okay, you
Chebet.
can. So Hugo is reading deputy, and then Victor Chebet.
Good morning, Chebet. You look neat and smart, and thank you for keeping time.
Good morning, madam. Thank you for the compliment.
We received your application for the position of school captain. Why are you interested in this position?
Thank you for the question, madam. Our school is looking for a leader who will provide an ideal leadership that will enable our school mission on creating a conducive learning environment for better Kenyans. I can humbly say I am the one.
What is your take on corporal punishment?
Education Act 2013 abolished corporal punishment. Madam, I don't support it. It has done more harm than good. I am a crusader of alternative ways of correction, such as counseling, involving parents, and there is nothing wrong if we ask the culprits to clean the compound.
Do you participate in any co-curricular activities? How is it affecting your academic performance?
Yes, last time our rugby team represented this region at the national competition in Machakos. I was part of the team. I was also among the top 3 students in Term 1. Remember, the outgoing school captain was in drama team, and she is also the best student in Form 4. So, madam, it is about balancing academics and co-curriculum. you are good to go.
Well said, Chebet. What if we appoint you academic prefect instead?
Madam, I won't mind actually. I believe that one doesn't need a position to be a leader. I will still be thankful and provide leadership to the best of my ability.
Before you go, do you have a question for me?
Yes, madam. What is the ministry's position on student leadership? Is it through election, appointment, or
That is a good question. Students are given an opportunity to elect their leaders. This process is just an initial stage. Students will have their say through election. Thank you. You can leave. We'll get back to you.
Thank you so much. We'll be glad to hear from you.
Okay, thank you. We look at the questions now based on that. And I want you guys, please just take like I'm just giving you about 2 minutes. Could you attempt the first 2 questions? And then you can mark for yourself. Please, it is now 11:21. At 23, we attempt the first 2 questions. Identify 3 elements that make this item a job interview. What shows that Chebet was prepared for this task? Let us just begin with those questions. I want you to evaluate yourself. Remember that next year we are candidates, so I will just keep alternating the screen and then you can see. You can perhaps note down the question somewhere. You can write the question. And I just want you to attempt just the first 2 questions. Identify 3 elements that make this item a job interview. Please write the question somewhere. Identify 3 elements that make this item a job interview. When you read it, what makes you feel that this is a job interview? Then, what shows that Chebet was prepared for this task? Write that down. And then I will now take you back to the conversation and then give you now 2 minutes for you to look for the answers to those 2 questions. Then we will go through the answers and then you can mark for yourself. It is good you also engage your brain here. If there's a page you would like me to display more, you just write, you can type on the chats. I will see it. Please attempt, guys. Please attempt. Are we through? We can begin with the first question. What makes this item an interview? Anyone would be willing to share their answers? And then also, as we give the answers, you can mark for yourself and see whether you are able to get them. And we are just interested with the first two, and then we'll go to the other two. Anybody would like to attempt?
Yes.
Yes, you can begin.
There is time management.
Yes?
There's time management.
In an interview?
Yes.
What makes you say there's time management?
Can you please put the first page where the
Okay. I've done it for
when
you.
the deputy principal tells Chebet that thank you for keeping time.
Okay, I get what you are saying. At first, I could not understand what you're saying. With the illustration, I can understand. The virtue of arriving early, right?
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. Any other? Okay, let's hear. Let's hear another. Thank you. Let's see another answer from Dominic. Dominic?
Chebet is asked why she's interested in the job position by the deputy principal.
The mention of the position of the school captain, eh?
Yes.
The mention by the deputy that they received her application for the position of a school captain. Okay, that shows that's an interview. Any other point, Dominic?
No other.
Okay. Let's hear from Khalif again.
Yes, teacher, there's anticipation of potential questions.
You can illustrate?
The principal asked me, Chebet, before you go, do you have a question for me?
For me? Okay. I get your point, Khalif. Thank you. Alan?
Chebet is asked to expound on her qualifications. For example, she is asked about how the curricular activities affect her academics.
Okay, about our academics. All right. That is question 1. Don't mark yet. We will go through the answers that I've provided, and then we'll see whether there are other answers we can add, and then you can mark for yourself. The other question was, what shows that Chebet was well prepared, right? What shows that Chebet was prepared for this task? These are 4 marks. Okay. Okay, there is somebody, William. William?
Chebet.
Yes. By the deputy principal comments about Chebet keeping the time and also being neat.
Okay, correct. Thank you. I agree. Thank you, William. You have another point?
By also, when she's asked about corporal punishment, she gives a reference. That means that she had already come into contact with whatever she talked about.
Done her research. Yes, done her research. Okay, thank you, William. We can hear from another person. Okay, let's hear from him. Please, when you raise your hand and I'm trying to unmute you, you must accept. Jack?
Chebet's willingness to become a leader despite the position she's been given.
That shows that she's prepared.
Yes.
Okay, let's go on. Thank you. We will mark these answers, and I hope that you have written them and you can see out of the 7 marks what you would have gotten. There's somebody called Nguze who is his hand is always up. When I try to unmute him, he'll not accept to be unmuted so that he can answer. So I'll just let him be. Now, let us look at the answers. Who is ready to take us through those answers? I will share the answers on the screen. Somebody to take us through them. Who? I want to give the opportunity to somebody maybe who has not said something and wants to say something. I'll share the answers on the screen. I can see there's a new person here called Samuel GK. So Samuel, let me share the screen with you. Can share. Discuss. Please mark those answers for yourself and we'll see the first question who will have gotten 3 out of 3. Begin with the first question.
Identify 3 elements that make this item an interview. It's question and answer based. Presence of vacancy to be filled, that is school captain. It's goal driven, getting the best from the candidates. Presence of the interviewer and interviewee.
We can also add some of the points that they have mentioned. The element of there was an answer that was given and I felt that qualifying to be what makes this an interview. It is question and answer based. And of course, we have to illustrate. These are just my very simple answers, but for you to score, you must, of course, illustrate your answer. You can maybe give a question where a question has been asked. If we go back, perhaps here, we can see the first question. Why are you interested in this position? And then saying, this school is looking for a leader and can humbly say I am the one. So question and answer. So that shows there is an that this is an interview. The second point that shows that this is an interview, the presence of a vacancy to be filled, the mention of the school captain. Now, it is goal driven. They want to get the best candidate. That is why all these questions have been asked. They want to get the best candidate for this particular job. Now, goal driven, we'll go back to where the principal is asking a question. The deputy principal, where he's asking, why are you interested in this position? They want to get the best of Chebet. The questions that are also being asked again, the deputy goes ahead to ask, do you participate in co-curriculum activities and how is it affecting your academic performance? So they are looking for the best candidate here. So it is goal driven, we can say that. Of course, the interviewee and the interviewer, we can tell the interviewee is Chebet, the interviewer is the deputy principal. Now, those are very key areas or just the simplest of them to show us that this is actually an interview. Now, there were answers that we had, answers of that there's, cannot remember the answer that Alif gave, the issue of punctuality, that somebody is arriving at the venue on time. Now, that one does not show it is an interview, but it shows that the interviewee was prepared or was so much prepared for this task. Now, those are the answers, and I would like to know if there's anybody who actually got 3 out of 3 on question 1. We will see from the comments. 3 out of 3, I don't know, maybe 2, but at least nobody got less than 1 because of the question on that mark on the presence of the vacancy, the school captain. Okay. Samuel, you can take us to the next question. What shows that Chebet was prepared for this task?
What shows that Chebet was prepared for this task? She was well groomed to show she was serious in getting the position. She
Can you
kept
give us the
time.
illustration for the well groomed? What shows that she was well groomed?
In the first slide,
Mhm.
where the deputy principal says, "Good morning, Chebet. You look neat and smart, and thank you for keeping time."
Thank you. That is correct. So apart from keeping time, the fact that Chebet looks neat and smart shows that Chebet was well groomed. Go on.
She kept time to show interest and focus in the position.
We have the illustration up there. Thank you for keeping time, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll go on.
She did proper research on Education Act, corporal punishment, etc., to show she is ready to deliver on the job.
Yes, I think somebody gave us that point. The fact that Chebet is conversant with the Educational Act, the corporal punishment, that shows that she did her research properly.
She uses etiquette on her responses to show respect.
Which are these this etiquette in her responses? Can we maybe identify some? Let's begin. Let's look at the etiquette in our responses. Says using that title, madam. Okay. Thank you for the question, madam. That is etiquette. Good morning, madam. That is etiquette. And also, I think even then, when she's finishing, thank you so much. Use of that etiquette in her responses. Go on.
Demonstrated confidence in answering all the questions without struggle.
Yes, there's no time where we see her maybe looking outside or being distracted or not having an answer. So she demonstrated a lot of confidence in her answers. Okay, we go to the next question. Are there people who actually scored some good marks in that question? That was not a very easy question. It may seem easy. There's one person, I don't know his name, his hand is up. But that is a question that is a little bit it requires you to think so much critically. And I know that I've just ambushed you with the question, so you may not have had enough time to think so much about it. That's a question that can come as question 1. Okay, then we have these other questions. Describe how you would deliver the last statement of Chebet effectively. Let us look at that last statement by Chebet. The last statement by Chebet is, "Thank you so much. I'll be glad to hear from you." How would you deliver that effectively? Anyone willing to try? Anyone willing to try? Okay.
Yes, Mwalimu. The statement itself is effectively.
Sorry?
The statement that Jibet said, it is very effective.
So we are asking, how would you deliver that statement effectively? Thank you so much. I'll be glad to hear from you. If you were Chebet, how would you say that statement effectively?
Effectively as in what?
These are questions on performance, just like we looked at the song up previously, where we were talking about the kind of intonation or if there are any gestures that you use. These are questions on performance. When you're asked how would you say this effectively, what does it imply? I think you need to.
I remember now.
Yeah. Would you like to try?
Yes, yes.
Try.
You will say it in a
Let's hear somebody else.
I will use appropriate facial expressions such as smiling.
You would smile while saying thank you so much. I'll be glad to hear from you. Okay.
Yes.
That is his. Any other person with a different answer?
I would use following intonation to indicate finality, while curtsying to show respect.
Well, curtsying to show respect. Okay, that's an attempt. I can hear another person.
I would gesture by giving a handshake to the deputy principal to show my sincere gratitude for the interview.
Okay, thank you, Jack. Another person. Okay, it seems we have exhausted all those who wanted to attempt. All right, let us look at the answers that we have here. Describe how you deliver the statement of Chebet effectively. We must mention the verbal and the non-verbal cues. Remember, that is the one rule that I gave. When you're asked on a question on performance, how would you say, how would you perform? We are looking for verbal and non-verbal. If you give one verbal, just one, I would use a falling intonation perhaps. Even though it will be correct, it will be wrong because there's no non-verbal. So you must always ensure you give a verbal and a non-verbal cue. That's a rule. You cannot escape it. I would use a falling intonation to show finality. I would also use an assertive tone, of course, also for finality. It is very interesting. I don't know, it is Jack or who was very keen to note that I would either bow or curtsy. Now, let's say you'd curtsy, this is a girl, to show courtesy and respect. I would put my palm on my chest to show gratitude. You can even try demonstrating that, putting your palm on your chest. I mean, when you're talking to somebody and you're telling the person thank you, I mean, you show gratitude to show that thanks come from deep from your heart. Or palming together, putting your hands together around your chest again to show gratitude. So that is how you could have said that, with a falling intonation to show finality, and then curtsying to show respect or courtesy. Or you could have said with a falling intonation to show finality, and then putting my palm on my chest to show gratitude. With a falling intonation and putting my palms together around my chest to show gratitude. So you have to mention both the verbal and the non-verbal cue. The last question on that dialogue is, what is the significance of Chebet's question to the deputy principal? The significance of Chebet's question to the deputy principal. Which, let us look at Chebet's question to the principal. I think it is the deputy who asks, yes, before you go, do you have a question for me? And then Chebet is asking, yes, madam, what is the ministry's position on student leadership? Is it through election, appointment, or interview? Now, the question is, what is the relevance of that? Significance of that particular question? Is there anybody? I know you have already seen the answers. Who is hawk-eyed to have seen the answers ready to give? Yes, you are very hawk-eyed. The slide with the answers. What is the significance in the interview of Chebet asking that question? Yes? Okay. Peter? Peter?
To seek clarification.
Come again? I've not heard from, I don't know whether it's him or her. I'm not sure. Yes, give us the answer. The significance of that question, why is Chebet asking, or what is the importance of that question by Chebet? What purpose does it serve? Yes?
To seek clarification.
Okay, you can take us through the answers there. It is not to seek clarification, but you can tell us. You can read the answer is there.
To demonstrate confidence.
Correct.
Get information on how to get the position. Demonstration of interest on the post.
Yes, that is the relevance or the significance of that question that Chebet is asking. What is the ministry's position on student leadership? It is a way of showing that she's confident enough to ask a question during the interview. She's relaxed. Also, it could be on a fact-finding mission to get information on how one is to be to get that position of the school captain. And then also a sign of demonstration, of course, of interest in that particular post of the school captain. Okay, we are almost coming to the end. Now we have we have one main question here that is going now to I will ask you guys to engage again carefully, get some answers. The question is there. I give you a minute. Explain the significance of using the following when narrating a story. When you're narrating a story, what is the significance of tone of variation? What is the significance of maintaining a meaningful eye contact? What about a pause? Remember, we have a long pause that is characterized by either a dash or a full stop sometimes. We have a short pause characterized either by a comma. So can you just let us begin with the tone of variation and the maintaining meaningful eye contact. Can you write somewhere briefly the significance of tone of variation in narrating a story and maintaining meaningful eye contact? Let's begin with those two. After you have written, I'll give you a minute and then we'll take answers from you. At least have 3, let's say 3 each. 3 for significance, tone of variation, and 3 for meaningful eye contact. I hope you do know what is tone of variation. All right, let us hear the answer. Now, tone of variation is the change of course in pitch, whether it's high, whether it's low. We also use our tone to convey our emotions or attitude. And the main thing is to help with the delivery of the message. So we can hear from this one here. You can tell us what the answers that you've come up with on why the importance of
Let me
variation.
tell you. Yes. Now, there on tonal variation, we can talk about the effectiveness or when tonal variation, for example, one speaks louder, this is because he's trying to emphasize something of importance. So it is used to bring about importance of something. Yes. Am I correct?
I want to hear the three. I asked for three. I'm listening for the other two.
Oh, okay. Me, I'm Mwalimu. I know one currently.
And that one you're saying is to emphasize on points.
Yes, yes.
Let's hear from the others. We'll come back to that point, the emphasis.
To break monotony.
To break monotony, Jimmy. Okay. You have any other answer?
To express
I asked for
confidence.
three, guys. I asked for three answers. Yes?
To express confidence.
So you're talking of breaking monotony, expressing confidence.
And
Okay,
to
thank you. Yes? Okay. Let's hear from Khalif again. Yes?
It gets the reader's interpretation.
Come again?
Guides the reader's interpretation.
Tone of variation. Tone of variation is during performance, not during reading. Khalif. We use tone of variation when you're presenting or when we are reading. So we are looking for the importance of the tone of variation. Okay, we'll discuss that. What about eye contact? What is the significance of maintaining eye contact during performance? Let's hear from
Is to improve your confidence.
To do what?
Improve your confidence.
Okay, to improve confidence, maintaining eye contact so that can improve confidence. Can hear from this other one?
Maremu, I think that maintaining meaningful eye contact shows that one is concentrating in whatever is being narrated. Yes.
Shows as a concentration. Are you implying maybe like showing attentiveness, showing your listening keen?
Attentiveness.
Okay.
Yes, attentiveness, Mwalimu. Yes.
Okay, thank you. We hear from somebody else. Karoki, Blesson.
Maintaining meaningful eye contact shows that you are sincere. Yes. Maintaining meaningful eye contact shows that you are sincere.
To show sincere during performance of a story.
Yes.
Okay. We move on.
Mwalimu, I have a question. Can we say that when someone maintains meaningful eye contact, they show that they are confident in whatever they're saying?
In a different setup, that's a question that can come in. If, for example, it is during a dialogue, you and your friend are talking, you maintaining eye contact can show that you're speaking the truth, can show that you're confident. The question that we have here is during a narration. Let us assume you're reciting a poem during the drama festivals. What is the significance of you maintaining eye contact with your audience? That is what the question is asking here. What is the importance of you maintaining eye contact with the audience? Let us just go through the answers and see. Now, maintaining meaningful eye contact with the audience, it is so that you can get feedback. I'm now giving you the answers here. It is so that you can be able to get feedback from them. If you're looking at the audience, you are able to tell whether they are interested. You can tell from their facial expressions whether what you're telling them interests them. You can tell from their facial expressions whether they are happy with what they're hearing, whether they look bored. So you maintain eye contact with you maintain eye contact. Somebody who has not is that you need to mute so that you cannot interrupt the others. Okay. So I was saying that remember the question here, and that is what we have one student there asking about confidence. And I was saying that when you maintain eye contact with somebody, it shows that you know what you're talking about. You are confident on what you're talking about with what that you're saying. Now, the first point of maintaining meaningful eye contact during a performance, and I've given an example, it is during drama festivals. You're performing a poem on, let's say, natural disaster. You have to maintain eye contact with the audience because you're going to get feedback from them. Are they interested in listening to what you're saying? Are they bored? Does it amuse them what you're saying? So maintaining eye contact helps you to get feedback from the audience. It also makes you appear trustworthy and authoritative. Trustworthy and authoritative. Again, contact with the audience, it creates a bond between you and the audience. It's like you actually communicate. Sometimes when you lock eye contact with somebody, you have already communicated with that person. So there's that bond that it creates when you're maintaining eye contact with each other. And lastly is that it builds confidence. When you maintain eye contact with your audience, it makes you be very confident. You are not shy. You don't feel timid. You don't feel intimidated, but you're confident. And of course, that is going to positively affect your delivery. Now, the other question was on tone of variation. The significance of tone of variation is so that number one, you can keep the audience glued in the narrative. Remember, I began by saying that it is just the change of pitch. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it is low. And I remember somebody talking about to break the monotony. Now, the essence is if you bore the audience, then you don't have their attention. But if you vary your tone, you keep them glued. You have their attention. Another candidate here also gave us the point of emphasis. You use tone of variation to emphasize on some points. Sometimes you have to use a very, maybe a high pitch, a low pitch, flat, to emphasize. There are some points that need to be emphasized, so you vary your tone to emphasize some points. Maybe when you're transitioning from one point to another, from one topic to another, you can vary your tone. Or it shows the significance is, for it signifies also that you're changing your tone or you're transiting to another topic. And we also use our tone of variation to convey our emotions. Sometimes if you are speaking in a high pitch and then you tend to lower that tone, it shows either there's sadness. If we raise our tone, perhaps we are showing joy and celebration. So tone of variation can also be used to show our emotions. And of course, there's the conclusion of a narrative, marks the conclusion. For example, when we say we use a falling intonation, we can use hashed tone, we can use maybe a falling intonation to show that we are now concluding or coming to the end. So we cannot always end our narrative in a high pitch, we always have to come down. So that is it. And then now we have one last question. The last question was on what? Pauses. And I said that we have a short pause. We have short pauses are normally characterized by a comma. Then long pause, we use either a dash or a full stop sometimes. These short pauses, they serve different purposes. So I would ask that maybe you get to understand a short pause characterized by a comma. It is to build an anticipatory mood so that the audience are now anticipating what are you going to say next. Then a long pause where we have either a dash or a full stop. It is number one, for, like, let's see here, it maintains the attention of the audience because there's that anticipation from the audience what you're going to say next, to emphasize on the points that you've said, and also to give the audience an opportunity to reflect or to think about the message that you have given, and also enables the speaker to take a breather. When you use a long pause, it is so that the speaker can take a moment to also reflect on what they are saying, maybe to take a breath, something like that. And then also for the audience also to reflect on what the narrator has said, on what the speaker has said. So we have a short pause and a long pause. And this is not to be confused with what we say a dramatic pause or a pregnant pause. Those ones will not be marked by NEC. NEC recognizes a short pause or a long pause. If it is a short pause, it is, to get the attention of the audience, kind of by building that anticipatory mood. Of course, we have long pause now to emphasize on some points. And this is now by letting it sink or the audience to reflect. And then the speaker is also able to take a breather or take a moment and to relax so that can be able to continue. So those are the questions that I had. Those are not new questions to you, but you will agree that they are questions that require you to actually think. I wanted also to draw your attention to the way you answer those questions in complete, as NEC expects of you, so that you don't have problems with your answers and, just give the straightforward questions. And I noticed that the other time when we were marking the Malina exams, there are some schools where candidates have already coordinated themselves according to the NEC rubric. They know what the examiner is expecting and they give the examiner that which you're expecting. You don't have to give a very complicated answer to challenge the examiner. I would rather you give a simple answer that earns you marks, because at the end of the day, we want marks. So if there's no question, if there's somebody with a question, if there is no question, if you would want maybe these questions and answers that we have discussed here, maybe for your future revision, I would so gladly avail them to you, even when schools open. We'll see. So otherwise, I want to thank you for paying attention. I think this, for all the classes that I've been able to do, this was my favorite session because of the number of students who have participated. And I think I have to really appreciate you guys because of your discipline. I've not had people saying funny things, misbehaving. I think, honestly, this was the best class that I have had this holiday. Kudos, guys. Keep up. I'm sure this kind of behavior would translate to good results. Otherwise, guys, I wish you a nice afternoon. Continue to enjoy your holiday. Take care. Say hi to your parents. Be good to your siblings and continue with that spirit. You have given me the best session, and I hope your class teachers can hear that. This was wonderful. So many students have actually participated. There was reading, answering, people coming up with their own answers. Bearing in mind that not even given this paper yesterday, you have just encountered it today. I think this was amazing, guys. I'm very proud of you and keep up. All the best, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.